All right, y'all. Happy hump day. Happy last day of the month. Um, Real quick, right before cast starts, I'm not going to take too long. This is the current board. I honestly have no idea where everybody is at right now since this update. Um, this is what we have going on. Y'all are like, I literally don't even know what's happening, but this is incredible. I'm so proud of you guys. Um, I literally was checking everything, getting all the messages from you guys about like share a card out, BOGO out, share a card out, BOGO out. And I am just like, okay, this is amazing. I went ahead and added in, I know Val is sending an order. I know that Diana finished some orders earlier. We talked. Jackie, oh my God, like just all of you guys. I'm shook. I'm buying a lot of tank tops, it looks like tomorrow. So congratulations, you guys. Also congratulations to Jackie for locking in Success Starter. She got her free ticket to Summit. I'm just so proud of all of you guys and the way that you really just put in a lot of effort, a lot of work to get to these goals this month. And this is just the beginning. That's literally the first month of the year. You have so much time left. It's not like it's January, you didn't hit Success Club this month, it's over. And I'm kind of at a loss for words, and I just want to let you guys know I'm so proud of you. Obviously not all of you are up here, but that doesn't mean anything. The night is not over. Demetrius is still getting to Success Club tonight. That's why I told you guys earlier. I am going to be staying on after the call ends for probably about an hour or so because I have so much more work I have to get done tonight. So I'll be available to help you guys with anything you need help with. With that being said, Kassie is our speaker for tonight, and I'm really just excited for her to share a little bit about her story, about the topic we discussed, about objections, overcoming obstacles, things along those lines, and just kind of feed the fire that is clearly already burning with you guys right now. So just listen in and feel free to ask questions at the end. Oh, also, Kassie's a badass bitch. She's a diamond partner. She's been a partner, and she's hit Success Club 10 plus for 4 years. And how long have you been a partner? For 6 years or
Uh, 4.5, maybe almost 5 years.
almost 5 years? Okay.
Mhm.
So, and that is her introduction because we were talking about how I would introduce her. And I was like, well, obviously you're a boss ass bitch. And Kassie is like one of the people that inspired me at the beginning of my partner journey to like show the fuck up. So buckle up, you guys.
Well, thank you. That was quite the intro. Everything that you just said, I also have so much work to do tonight because you guys, like, this deal is crazy, and like this BOGO deal is probably never going to come around again. So if you've been coaching for anywhere upwards of 5 minutes, anyone who's ever said like, yes, I want more info, like, go back in time and invite them. I have like, this is like my tracker book that I use, and I have like three of them for the past, like, I don't know, 3 years. And I have them all out in my other room. They're just sprawled out, and I'm going through names. Um, I'm at Success Club. I'm actually at Success Club 34, which is amazing. Like, you guys look at your boards, like you can see like there is a lot of momentum team wide, right? So like, I'm not on your team, but I'm Heather's stepsister. I don't know how to explain it, but like, we're all part of the same group. I know some of you. I don't know all of you. Show of hands, I mean, if you've heard me, like, I see Lisa, I see Tiana, like, Allison, I know of you. Did
Chica is on
Teresa,
here.
Chica, okay, so yeah. So some new faces,
Oh, you probably know Jaleesa. She comes to
yeah,
the
yep. She's down there waving at me now. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna share my story with you guys. My journey to coaching was not like a straight shot. It wasn't like I um like started as a customer and then moved to coaching and just like really hit like success, and like I'm here to tell you that like just put in the work and you'll do great. Like my journey to coaching has been like this, and like upside down and backwards. So um I mean, I guess I did start as a customer, but prior to that, if you guys don't know like who I am or what I share about, I'm in recovery, 10 years sober from an addiction to everything on the planet, mostly heroin at the end. Um, I got sober in January of 2014, and my life leading up into that point was just just crazy. Like imagine anyone on the call ever have a family member or somebody they love that struggles with addiction. So some of you kind of understand. But imagine like rock bottom, what you would imagine for your loved one. And that was like I was like knocking on death's doorstep essentially. Like I was homeless. I was sleeping in a condemned house. So like when I like the city would come and like board up the windows, and then I would leave and tear the boards back down and crawl back through, and it was really bad. Like I was in a position where I was just walking stick figure, um, just really using to kind of get through my days. And my days were just like use, pass out, wake up, repeat. Um, and I was really, really, really sick. Um, so when I decided to get help, I went to a really non-conventional program, and that's a call for a different day. But my program took me like 7 months to complete. So it wasn't like you're here for a week or for 90 days. Like it was like you're here until you complete all of the things that you need to complete. And then when you're done, you can leave. And so I moved from Michigan to California, and I lived out there for 7 months. And in that time, I did get sober. I had a really um hard time. I got kicked out of my program twice. Like I am very, any other Enneagram eights other than Heat on the call? Okay. Well, if you know Heat, then you know what I mean. When I say Enneagram 8, they are stubborn, they are fierce, they will argue with you even when they're wrong. Like they but they're also very protective, very loyal. There's a lot of good things. But so I'm an Enneagram 8. And I aided my way all through my rehab program. So I graduated, I came back, and I had gained 70 pounds. So I was like somewhere stuck in between being monumentally proud of myself for overcoming this addiction that almost took my life, and being super ashamed because I could no longer recognize myself in the mirror. And I I felt guilty for feeling that way. But I knew I was uncomfy in my skin. Um, I didn't want to be in a bathing suit. I didn't want to see pictures of myself. Like most of the pictures I have of myself from that time are at an angle that like hides my whole body. I was really learning how to completely live again. So I had no friends. I was affiliated with a gang in Michigan when I left and went to California. So when I came back, I had to disconnect from obviously everyone that I knew affiliated with. I had no friends. I had no idea what Instagram was. So that was one thing. I had to learn how to use a smartphone. It was like I had been living under a rock because, even though my program was 7 months prior to that, like not a lot of heroin addicts are like active on social media. So like, you know, I wasn't just like out there like, yeah, this is my life. Like my highlight reel was not a highlight. It was not pretty. So there was a lot that I had to learn. I had to learn about myself. I didn't even know what I like to eat. Like I would get, you know, like anyone ever try online dating? Fucking kill me. Um, like people would be like, "Oh, what do you like to do for fun?" And I'd be like, smoke cigarettes. Like I don't know. Like I loved smoking. Like I didn't know anything about myself. Like I was like really just not did not have my shit together. So while I was in California, my sister, who is Carrie Stillman Schmidt, um, she had decided to join Beachbody, which was a cult, and I knew it was a cult, and I just thought like that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I judged her. I was like, you're posting your body and your workouts for attention, and I will never do that. And I was like thinking, whatever, that worked for you because you lost a lot of weight while I was gone. But that's not going to work for me. So I did what every single person who tells us no does. And I joined Planet Fitness because I could do this on my own, right? And so I reconnected with one of it was a girlfriend from college, and she and I decided like we're going to go to the gym and we're going to be accountable together. And literally had no direction. You know, you start really strong, you maybe go a couple times a week, and then the second week you do great, and then the third week someone gets sick, and so then you don't really want to go without them. And then I live in Michigan, so it was cold, and then like there were so many things that were happening, and I just was like, I think I lost like almost 10 pounds at the gym, but it took me like 6 months, and I had no direction on anything. And I remember like I remember going up to this guy who worked at the counter at Planet Fitness and being like, "Can you come check um my squat form? Like because I don't know if I'm doing this right." And I was like really genuinely like trying, like I was trying because I was like really trying to make changes in my body and in my life. And he was like, "I just worked the front desk." Like I'm like, "Okay, what the fuck?" Like I was like, yeah. And so then, so Carrie's still rocking out with Beachbody. It was Beachbody at the time. And my friend who we were going to the gym together was like, "Have you ever heard of Beachbody?" And I was like, "Ugh, have I heard of it?" Like, yeah, I've heard of it. She's like, "Well, I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna try the 21 day fix. Have you ever heard of it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've heard of it." And she's like, "Well, I think I'm gonna try it." Like back then it was like DVDs. So when you'd pay $159 for a DVD and you'd get one program and a bag of Shakeology and the containers and the shaker cup. It was really different. And so this doesn't mean anything to anyone on this call, but I was living in Grand Rapids and she was living in Coopersville, which is a 35-minute drive each way. And so I was like, okay, if you get the program, I'll come out to your house every single day and I'll do the workout with you. And I'll go all in. So I mean, I literally didn't sign up with Carrie. I didn't sign up at all. I just agreed to like kind of ride on her tailcoats essentially, and like drove to the grocery store and then 35 minutes, and we meal prepped on a Sunday. I mean, we followed the plan to a freaking T. I mean, we followed that. I mean, I was like the one like how do I know if I like how do I count this, or how do I count the blue if it's got blue and yellow, and what if I'm making a whole dish? And like I was like really like it was overwhelming at first, but I followed the freaking plan, and I drove 35 minutes there and back every single day to do 21 days of workouts, and my results were mind-blowing. I lost 7.5 inches in the first 21 days. I don't even know how many pounds I lost. um and then I was like, hmm, this is something. I was like, wow, this is something. And my sister's like, hmm, yeah. And she's like, so are you gonna enroll? And I was like, no. No, I'm not. I'm not going to enroll. So I kept doing the DVDs. Um, and I honestly did those for, believe it or not, like a couple years. And I would not like enroll. So finally, I don't know when it happened, but the virtual workout library became a thing and DVDs stopped becoming a thing. And um I ended up getting I actually didn't end up enrolling, but I ended up deciding to use my sister's login information. I was like the slow creeper, right? I like didn't just say F it, I'm gonna jump all in. I was skeptical. I didn't understand the business. I didn't want anything to do with the business. I swore up and down I would never record myself working out, be a coach. Like, I was just here for the workouts. So I got really, really great results to the point where like Body reached out and asked, like, can we use your before and after photos? Like, I lost 30 pounds. I had gained 70. I didn't need to lose 70. I was at a really healthy place in my life. And at that time, I met my now husband. Well, I didn't meet him. I knew him. He was my 8th grade boyfriend, Derek, if you guys follow us on social media at all. But um, he was on the flip side of things coming out of a divorce. And I always joke with him that he slid into my DMs. He like messaged me on Instagram because I had an Instagram. I got an Instagram account. I had like 10 people on there. And so he like messaged me and he was like, what up, shorty, or whatever. And I was like, I ignored him. And then like a month later, I decided to message him back because I was like, why is this man messaging me? Isn't he like married? And then I heard that he got a divorce and I was like, what up though? So he came over and I just joked that he never left. He just like lived there. I don't know. We're married now, so it's fine. But he like never left. But so he had 3 kids who are now my 3 kids. And at the time I was a social worker and I was working in the foster care field. So I was a foster care worker and he was a truck driver. Um and we worked our freaking butts off. I mean, we worked our freaking butts off and we were not making ends meet. And so he got a second job. I think he was so he's working for this company that like built pool tables and he would like install them. It was really hard on his body. And then he got a weekend job, literally driving, doing delivery for Jimmy John's. Like it was hard. And I just was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Like I can't fucking like we are strapped for money. And I just got so sick and tired of being so sick and tired. And I messaged my sister and I said, okay, I'm in. I'll be a partner, I'll be a coach. Just whatever link that I send to people to sign up with, just send me that. And I'm just gonna invite every single friend and person that I work with. And I was just so tired of struggling. I was so tired, so tired. You guys ever, anyone on this call ever know that feeling of having bills that you can't freaking pay? Like, am I alone in that? Like, I remember the day that I decided to coach. I picked up my notebook off of the table and I found a credit card bill that Derek had shoved under the rest of the paperwork because he couldn't even open it because he knew we couldn't pay it. And I was so fucking mad. And I signed up like 7 people that night. And because I fucking needed that money. And that's how it started for me. That's honestly how it was a financial decision for me. The money opportunity in this company is stupid. It's so amazing. It's so good. And of course, did I continue to sign up 7 people a day? No. But I like when you learn about your warm market and the people, how you can invite them, like maybe your kids, friends, parents, or your sister or your parents, or like whatever it is. Like I signed all those people up at the same time. And and then the real work started, right? Because then I had to grow my everything. Um, I had literally no following on Instagram. I had nothing. I didn't even really know how to use Instagram. Um, I had recreated a new Facebook since coming back, so that was new too. I had nobody on there. I mean, a few people, like the people I worked with, were on there. So I was really starting fresh. And I just, for the first couple of months, maybe the first 5 months, kind of just like maybe I'd hit Success Club 2 or 4, maybe 1 month I'd hit Success Club 10. And it really didn't matter because I just needed that extra cash. What I started to realize was that I was working in a field where the negativity became almost like invisible. It's like it was just always kind of just there. And when I started doing coaching with Beachbody, that negativity started to seem a lot more noticeable. It's like when you surround yourself with people who are like super, super positive, and then you leave, like if you've ever been on one of our retreats, it's just like Lisa, like everything is like amazing. It's amazing. And then you go back into the real world and you're like, holy shit, like why is everyone so angry? Like why is everyone so negative? That's how it feels when you immerse yourself into the body community and then you go back to your day job and you're just like, oh my God, like who hurt you? Like you just like why is everyone so angry? And I started to realize that that body was like the most positive part of my life. And so what started as I need this money turned into like a non-negotiable lifestyle for me. It turned into like a family, a community. And I have been through seasons where I've had coaches that I was, training or heavily recruiting for new coaches. And then I've also had seasons um, where I just didn't. And I just recruited customers and I was one hell of a partner to them. And I was pretty consistently doing partner sneak peeks. And then I got pregnant. And I was super fucking pregnant when I decided to stop doing them because my people weren't working unless I was checking in on them. And if you know any other Enneagram 8s, the math just ain't mathin'. Like I like if you're not working and you don't work unless I get on a Zoom call with you, like I couldn't keep dragging my people. I could not keep dragging my people. And I just said I'm done. I shut down my coach chat. Still hitting Success Club 10, even pregnant, even postpartum, because that was like my non-negotiable. That was what I decided. Because if you know any other Enneagram 8s, who is the one person that we trust more than anyone? It is ourselves. So I knew that at that time I couldn't rely on other people to ensure that there was a cash flow coming into my house, but I could rely on me. And our lives don't function without our body income. That's the reality of it. So I have been able to pay my mortgage every month on my body income. We were able to buy a house. And 98% of my income has always been from me. And now, more recently, I'm in a season where I'm excited about the business opportunity again. And I think that's important because I never lost my excitement about the community, and I never lost my excitement about the business opportunity, and I never doubted for 1 second that I wanted it. I just I hadn't found my people. I mean, I had my people. I had he always, had my sister, had Bay, had Lisbeth, had all of the leaders, this community who has always been super supportive, but like my personally sponsored people, my tribe, I just have been just waiting to figure out where they were, right? And turns out they were under my nose the whole time. Turns out they were right there. And I realized I really needed to start looking at all of those people over the last 4 years of me hitting Success Club 10, all of my customers that I had been one hell of a partner to, those were my people. Those are still my customers. I retain customers like very, very strongly because I make sure that I pour into them with everything that I have and give them a great experience. And it's been a life-changing experience for them. And I started to just turn inward and say to them, like, do you want to try this out with me? And I stopped being afraid of saying, do you need an extra income coming into your home? And I also stopped being afraid to say, only do this if you're willing to work. Because what I used to say was anybody can be successful. But the reality is you're only successful if you put the work in. I guarantee there's at least one person on this call who I've invited to a challenge group. And probably that's because I went to your page and I couldn't tell that you were a coach. I honestly, like, if I can't tell you're a coach, I'm inviting you. Like, if you're on my page or you've seen my stuff, 110%, unless I have seen your obituary, I'm inviting you. If you keep watching me, I'm gonna keep coming for you because I heard this at Summit and I know you were there for it, but I am not going to let somebody else take my paychecks home. Most of the people who I sign up, if you look at my conversations with them, I invite them at the beginning of the month, and then I invite them halfway through the month, and then I invite them at the end of the month. And I continue to send those invites every single month for over a year, and they've never responded until the day that they respond. Thank you for never giving up. I'm ready. I'm ready. And outpours this human soul of like, this is everything I've been through in the last year and a half, and I wasn't ready, but I've been watching. If they're watching, that is your storefront, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that before. Like, if they're watching what you're doing, they're interested in what you're doing. And so it doesn't really matter what season of life you guys are in, whether you're here to build for a business or whether you're here to increase your income, whether you're here for the community. My best advice for you guys is to just decide what's important to you and keep going on that. Because this business really can change your life. So that's really what I have for you guys. I don't know, Heather, if Heather, I don't know why I just called you that, Heat. If you wanted me to touch on anything else, or if I
So I'm wondering, what do you do when you don't get responses from those invites of the hundreds of invites I know you send, if not daily, weekly.
What do I do?
Yeah, what do you do?
Um, I just keep it moving. So, I don't do anything. I just keep inviting them. But it's a mental game, right? Because sometimes it's almost like I kind of had to like detach myself from like, okay, this is my personal account, and like every invite I'm sending them, like it's like personal when they don't respond to me. Um, because this now my social media accounts, these are my business storefronts. That's what they are. Um, I have you guys heard of the energy bus? Have you guys heard of it? I'm gonna nutshell it for you. At least with my takeaway. Maybe this isn't all of it, but this is how I take it. So like let's say I'm driving this bus and you're all at different stops. And I'm like, I pull up to the first stop and I'm like, yo, partner, like I'm working the business today. You come in? Or hey, friend, like I'm enrolling for this group. It starts February 5th. You come in? And they're like, oh, I don't know. It's not a good time. Like, I don't know if I have the money. You're like, no biggie, but I gotta keep on my route. So I'm gonna circle back around and maybe you'll be ready next time. But you sure? Okay. All right. Wow. So I'm gonna keep moving. And so I pull up to the next stop and it's like, hey, to the next friend, like, this is what we're doing. And they're like, hell yeah, I'm ready. It's like, all right, get on the bus. So now I'm on the bus and I've got my friend on the bus and we're going around to all the stops. So everyone who's ready, they're getting on the bus. And that's like your energy. Like if this person has told you like, I want more info, um, or you pull up to the bus stop and you're like, hey, this is what I'm doing. You gonna get on? And they're like, and they don't say anything. You're gonna be like, okay, you're not gonna get off the bus, throw them over your shoulder, and then like assault them into your bus with you. You're just gonna be like, all right, bro, like maybe next time. And then they're just gonna watch as you drive away. Like it's the same concept with when you're sending these invites and people aren't responding to you. Like you're gonna circle back around. Like this is what I mean when I say I'm circling back around. All of these people in 1 month have told me they wanted some info. So when I've sent them an invite, they've responded and said, sure, send it. They haven't said, yes, I want to do it, but they've said, sure, send it. So they're considering it another month. Like I just have pages full of names. Like heaven forbid I die and somebody finds this book and sees all these names like crossed out, I'm gonna look like a serial killer. But like I keep track of that. Like I keep my routes tight. You know what I mean? I circle back around, and like it's not personal. It's never personal. And even when somebody says it's personal, how dare you invite me? It's not personal. They're going through it.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee that.
Yep. Thank you. Um, and then I think maybe you kind of already have breached this a little bit, but hard shit, right? As a partner, when hard things have happened. I mean, I've been around for several of the hard things in your life. Um, what has been the thing that makes you keep going? What makes you continue to work your business when you get fired from your job and when family members die and when you have a really hard pregnancy and a really hard postpartum, or you just don't feel like it and life is overwhelming, or your caseload is humongous at your full-time job, or your kids have a crisis going on, or your kids are sick, or you're not sleeping because you're breastfeeding all night? Just want to know.
Yeah. So it's the same, it's the same ideology as how I stay sober. Um, so everybody always asks me like, how do you do it? How do you stay sober? Like we don't hear of like heroin addicts who make it. you know, they always relapse or they always fall off. And, you know, it's kind of the same thing with like people on their wellness journeys, or even like you, if you're on this call, you're a partner, right? So it's like the way I look at it is you have to take the option off the table. So the option of quitting. And so what I mean by that is like, let's say I'm freshly sober or even 10 years sober. And and I have like a really fucking bad day. Addicts, if you know one, you know, like we're gonna use like regardless. Like we're gonna use if it's your best day, we're celebrating. If you're stressed out because we're stressed out, if we're mad and like I just can't think about this right now, if we're too tired, if something didn't go our way, if a relationship fails, if we said we're gonna quit today, but maybe we'll quit tomorrow. Like every reason is an excuse to use. Okay, so when you're having the worst day of your life and you're in recovery and shit hits the fan, I had to shift my mental mindset of, okay, am I going to journal? Am I going to call a friend? Am I going to pour into a workout? Am I going to go for a run? Or am I going to use? It's that putting that option on the list that fucks people up. And so it had to just be completely eliminated. And it's all here. It's in your mental, right? It's no, am I gonna journal? Am I gonna go for a run? Am I gonna pour into a workout, or am I gonna call a friend? Those are my four options, and anything else is off the table. Um, Coaching is the same way. Like it just became like a non-negotiable. Like it wasn't, am I going to show up today or am I going to quit? It was just like, okay, shit's hard, but this is I'm doing this. Are you leaving? Sorry. Um, and so like I think when people fail, they come into this business and when they learn about all the things that they have to do, they say, okay, I'll try. And when you say, okay, I'll try, that's leaving room for, well, I'm not going to say I'm going to do it, because then if I fail, I'm going to like shame spiral and like feel like shit about myself. And like it leaves that like little open area for like, but just in case I don't succeed, I said I'd try. Right? It's like the same thing. It's the same thing in my recovery. It's the same thing in coaching. Um, even with Success Club, like when I decided Success Club 10 was my minimum, I wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna try. It was my minimum. And I cannot tell you how many times in the last 6 months I have gotten to the 29th of the month and been at Success Club 0. Oh my God. And then you work like you've never freaking worked before, because it's a non-negotiable. It's not like, well, I tried. It just it's a mental gymnastics. It's a mental gymnastics. Yeah.
Okay, and the last thing I want to ask you is just kind of like, because you are a working partner, mom of four, married, busy as shit, just like a lot of us. I think there's only a couple of people on my team that are stay-at-home moms, and it's like literally like two, barely. Everybody else is working full time.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, like, what does your day in the life, your typical schedule? I know it fluctuates, but like your typical day-to-day routine, including like taking care of yourself, job, and like coach work.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I didn't really say this. So I'm a probation officer now, in the juvenile field. So I work with like a whole caseload full of knuckleheads. You know, they're just gotta love them, you know. They're energy suckers, you know, they just will they'll suck it all out of you. So I do my workout in the morning. I never thought that I could be a person who could do my workout in the morning, but I can't even imagine having the energy to do it at night. So I wake up at like 4:45 or 5 o'clock, and I do my workout. I take heavy shots of Energize. The moment that the oxygen enters my lungs, I go, and then I just let it fall into my mouth. Like that's how I function. I'm not kidding. Like, okay, this is a thing. Like this is real. Like if you guys know people who struggle with addiction, put them on to Energize, because literally like it's when you struggle with addiction, this won't make sense unless you have struggled with addiction, but it's true, I promise. You don't ever get your same energy back, and you just keep waiting for it to come back, and you're looking for the energy that you would get from like using or taking pills or doing whatever it is that you were doing. And I tried everything. I spent helly money at like GNC and like all these other places. And then I eventually tried Energize, and Energize makes me feel so good and like regular and so human. And like maybe I don't need 3 shots, but I take 3 shots and I love it. And like we'll say 2.5, but I love it. So that's how I start my day. And I don't even drink coffee because I just drink Energize. Um, so that's how I start my day. And then it depends on the day. Sometimes I have to work in pockets, and sometimes I can sit down and work for an hour. If you guys aren't utilizing the Diamond Lead Power Hours, use them. Holy shit, it will make a difference. Like in your ability to use your tracker and get everything checked off. Because sometimes I think like we sit down and then we connect ourselves to death, right? Like we never get to the point of sending invites because we're just like, well, I feel like I just need to make more connections. Like, fuck that. You can connect for 10 minutes and then you can move on and you can like fucking invite people. And like the power hours like force your hand to do that because they're like, me, timer, we're moving on. And you're like, I'm not just done by, I've only talked to 2 people. It's too fucking bad, bitch. Like we're inviting now. And then you're like, sometimes that's what it takes. Like that's what it takes. Like when you have kids and you're just busy and you have a job, like you need somebody to say, we're moving on to the next thing. So if you can access those, you guys, they're 9 a.m., 1 p.m. and then I think a couple of times a week they're evenings. If you so sometimes like I will go into my office and I'll like shut my door and like log in, honestly. Sometimes I can't do that. Sometimes I have really, really busy days. So what I'll actually do, and this is hard to get into the habit of unless you're intentionally committing to this. And this isn't something that you'll just think of in the moment. You'll have to think of it before your day starts, before your week starts, and you'll have to think, I'm doing this. Like when you sit down to eat lunch, just add like 20 new people. Like so you're working in pockets. Um maybe while you're sitting in the school pickup line and waiting for your kids, you already have an invite written up. Like get that invite written up on Sunday. And you're just going through your stories, and anyone watching your stories, you're shooting out 10 invites. So you pull into the line, you put that car in park, and you're sending off 10 to 20 invites. And then fucking Johnny gets in the car and you go home and you make dinner, and then the shit hits the fan again, right? So it's like you got to get it in where you can fit it in, and that's how I have to do it on a lot of days. The other thing is if you have a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, whatever, you have to communicate to them what you're trying to do and how much time you need. So sometimes I'll just be like, holy fucking shit, Derek, like I'm gonna snap. I haven't done any of my shit today. Like these kids are driving me fucking crazy and the baby won't stop crying. And it's 8 o'clock. and I'm tired now and I haven't gotten anything done. My tracker's blank and I need 30 minutes or I need 45 minutes. And I need you to take all these kids and move them away from me and let me do this. But those conversations need to happen before you're in the heat of the moment, right? Those conversations like need to happen now. Like you need to share your business goals with your person now so that when you have a stressful day and nothing is getting done and you haven't been able to work, you can say that, okay, this is one of those things. I'm calling it in. Like I need you to help me out here. And I do that often as well. Um, and so I guess my one of my best working tips for you is if you can't, like I've heard people say pick your top 3 things that are your non-negotiables every day. So maybe you're inviting, maybe you're posting and you're listening to your personal development. That's great. But sometimes those are like 3 things that happen all week long and then everything else goes to shit. So I would challenge you to create your tracker or use whatever tracker you're using and never miss something on your tracker 2 days in a row. So if your tracker is like you're connecting and then you're inviting and then you're posting and you got your personal development in, but then you go into the next day and you realize you didn't send any partner invites and you didn't add any new people, start with those things because you never want to miss something twice. And then it will help you close in the holes in your tracker a little bit easier. Because sometimes I would find that I would get to the end of a week and I would have a whole empty row and it would be like partner invites, like just fucking crickets, nothing there, no check marks. And I'm like, ugh. So I like made that a new rule for myself. Like, okay, I'm not gonna beat the shit out of myself if I miss it, but I'm not gonna miss it twice. So that's really helped me.
Perfect. Thank you. I
Mhm.
kind of feel like I'm exposed from your call.
You feel seen?
I feel I I
You
not
feel
only
attacked?
feel seen, I feel like I have all my dirty secrets out on the table right now.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but a lot.
No.
Um, but yeah, you guys, I kind of want you guys, if you feel comfortable, ask Kassie whatever questions you have. She's a golden racehorse. She's literally, like I said last week before she knew I even was going to ask her to be on the call. I'm I love Kassie. Um, not just like as a wonderful friend and has been there for me for 4 years, even though I told you guys our backstory, we didn't actually think we would like each other at all. And here we are, and she's like the person that I'll probably go to first the majority of the time if it's about business, if it's about life, if it's about something I'm like, about that, like she probably already knows I'm thinking it and gonna come to her about it. So it's one of those things where she knows what she's talking about. She's also not proud enough to say we're not still works in progress. So this is like kind of your time. If you have any question, I want you to ask it now and don't be afraid of no question is off the table. Rita, do you take a day off when you don't do anything business related?
No.
Not really.
No. So, at the very minimum, I'm always sharing on my stories. So sharing on my stories is on my tracker. I'll read to you guys what's on my tracker. So I have check in with my bod group and my coach chat, stories, partner stories. Just be like literally anything about the partner experience. It could literally just be like, oh, plugged into a work hour, or it could be like, I don't know, something simple like speaking on this call or
Mhm.
um payday or paid a bill with my body income today, Beachbody or
Yeah.
something. Like whatever. So something about partner stories. Invite partner invites, connect, follow up, add new people, a reel or a post, personal development or business development. It's in the same line. And then the push group that I'm currently in. So, you can see like I have some days, some days I do things a little lighter. So Saturdays and Sundays obviously are my weekends, and those are my freaking days. Like, holy shit, I'm getting some things done on Saturdays and Sundays. Mondays and Tuesdays are my harder days. So Mondays I'm in court, I'm at the courthouse. Tuesdays I'm in the community. So I have to see all my kids on probation every single week, and I'm very busy Monday, Tuesday, and even sometimes Wednesday. So I am always posting to my stories. I am non-negotiably checking in with my bot group, because those are my customers, and I'm also proof of the product, right? So I'm doing my workout non-negotiably, and I'm posting my bot group. I'm also doing my personal development. That's on my tracker. That's daily. That's a non-negotiable. So whether you're using Growth Day or using something else. And it is very rare that I have a day where I don't invite. So there are definitely days where I'm not connecting with new people, or I'm not adding new people, or I'm even not posting sometimes. Sometimes my brain just dies and then I just can't
Yeah.
think about posting. But if you guys aren't inviting every day, or like 99% of your days, like, you need to rethink what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you're not inviting to this opportunity, like you're not.
You have nobody to talk to.
Yeah, well, you're definitely not enrolling anyone if you're not inviting them. Yeah. Seriously, I think like people connect to death. They just like they're scared to invite. And I don't know if there's anyone on this team that's like that, but they're like, I just don't know, it just feels weird. Like I don't wanna like just be like, oh, you're on my page, so I'm just inviting you. So I just want to connect a little longer, or like I don't know when to slide it in, or like whatever. It's like,
There's a lot of them on this.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like you are on my page.
Yeah.
You are watching my life.
Yep.
So it is not weird to be like, yoo-hoo! Like, um, I see you, you see me. Like, I don't know if this is your jam, but I see you what like wanna you wanna do this? Like, no pressure. No pressure, but I just want to let you know you're invited. I've been seeing you pop up on my page
Yep.
every fucking day. I see you watching. So I invite.
Hmm.
I invite, and I don't give a fuck if they respond. Actually, I go into it thinking probably no one will respond.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it does not hurt my feelings. It is a great day if I send 100 invites and I come back to my phone and 4 people are like, sure,
Yeah.
send more info. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah.
I know. I had a lot of people. We did a invite challenge last weekend, and there was a lot of people that were like, a lot of people are telling me no. And I'm like, they responded to you.
Yeah, if they respond, like that is
Good.
legit.
That's amazing because give them a month or two of you asking them and watching you consistently, they're going to change their mind.
Yes. The
Like,
only time I stop inviting is if somebody says, "Can you please stop inviting me?" And
yeah.
that's happened too. Like, so I've had people say, "Girl, can you like please go fuck yourself?" And then I'm like, "Oh." So like I won't invite them anymore. But I've also had people say like, "Hey, like I totally respect what you're doing. I love following you and I watch your story every day because you inspire the shit out of me, but I am not interested And if that ever changes, I will reach out. And I say, I always respond in love. Thank you for such a kind message. You are welcome anytime. And I don't keep bombarding them with invites. I
Yep.
just let them be and I go cheer them on, whatever they're doing, I cheer them on, I hype them up, and they know, and I know they'll come to me. And they will.
If you have somebody watching your stories every day that doesn't respond, did you say you're inviting them 3 times a month?
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Like I yeah, 3 times yeah.
Cassie's we're the same people. So
Like I'll show
it's,
you. Let me
yeah,
find.
she literally is gonna show you
I will show you.
invites, and she's probably invited people 50 plus times before they say something to her. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying invite them 50 times a month. I'm saying like over the course of maybe like a year or so. Like it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna let you know
it's interesting because sometimes people will have a day where they feel like they can like mentally compartmentalize like responding, right? Because when people say no, like let me just show this to you guys really quick and then I'll tell you that. Like I don't even need to keep scrolling back in time, but because like so many invites. Oh, she responded. And then she just goes again. And I will keep it going until they die. And I have no shame. I have no shame. But have you guys ever like invited somebody and they say something like I can't enroll because my sister's boyfriend just went back to jail again. Or I can't enroll even if they've told you they wanted this. I can't enroll because my mom is sick.
that.
Or my dad is going through chemo again. Or I can't enroll because my boyfriend just broke up with me. And you're thinking like this will help you so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
What they're saying is my life is so fucked right now that I cannot mentally compartmentalize adding one more thing to my plate. That's what they're saying. They're not saying they don't need this. They're not saying they can't afford this. So what I say is I hear you. I hear what you're saying is that you cannot mentally compartmentalize one more thing because you're beyond stressed out. If I sent you a free workout, do you think that you could make time to do some self-care over the weekend? Sometimes they're like, "No, I can't." I'm like, "Okay, well then I'm here when you're ready. I'm here when you're ready." And I'll keep inviting you. I'll keep checking in on you. Um, but sometimes they're like, "Okay." And then once they start to feel good, they're like, okay, all right, tell me more. Tell me more about this because my life is out of control right now and it needs something. And that workout felt really good. So even if people are rude to you, just like respond in kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I don't have any other questions, but if you guys do, feel free. I'm gonna take a picture real quick if y'all want to get on screen, unless you're naked. Um, don't get on screen if you're naked, please. It's happened before. I'm just keeping it real with you. Not on our calls. It's happened on like our training calls before. It's been weird. It's weird things, you guys. Chica also has COVID, you guys. Look at
Oh,
how
hi,
bad.
Chica. Miss you.
Oh, God. All right, everybody smile pretty. Jaleesa. She ain't listening. All right, there. All right, you guys, let's end this recording.